I would say that if everybody is on the same page, you will see better student outcomes. If the mentor teachers are strong in showing their student teachers how to build those relationships with their students, but they're not just there to clock in, clock out, and leave, but really showing the student teachers how to write lesson plans, tailor their lesson plans for their students in the classroom, teaching them how to have that one-on-one with their students, then that will help with building student achievement, because then the student teachers are going to learn how to really work with everybody in the classroom.
Welcome back to Innovating Education, the podcast where we explore groundbreaking ideas to transform teaching, learning, and leadership. I'm your host, Dr. Riley Williams, and today we're tackling a critical topic: how universities and school districts can work together to build successful partnerships that benefit educators and students alike. Joining me today is Dr. Aletha Williams, a renowned expert in education with extensive experience in fostering collaboration between higher education institutions and K-12 school systems. Dr. Williams, thank you so much for being here today.
Hi, I am so excited to be here with you today.
Well, we've got a lot to discuss, from your work supporting new teachers in improving student outcomes and overcoming the challenges that often come with collaboration. What do you think are the key ingredients for effective partnerships between universities and school districts?
I think the effective partnership between universities and school districts is making sure that they have built that relationship with each other and that everybody's on the same page. And so once everybody is on that same page, then that will help with that student achievement and also with that residency with your new teachers coming in, and also with your novice teachers who are wanting to become teachers. And so once you've kind of built the relationships, and when I say relationships, it's not just like with your superintendents and your higher ups, but also with the principals, with the schools, all of those relationships that are built. Once you have that great relationship, then that's where that partnership is going to be very effective.
So, what would you say, building strong partnerships is more than just signing agreements? What do you say the foundational elements are that make collaboration between universities and school districts truly work?
I would say that everybody has to have that meeting with each other. Everybody has to get to know each other. And so you just don't sign on the dotted line and never speak to each other again, but you come together and constantly meet with each other. What's working well, what's not working well, and then you collaborate with each other to figure out how we can get those things in order. And so if the communication piece is off, figuring out how to get that communication together. If the student teachers aren't doing what they're supposed to, figuring out on the university's end how to really make sure that the student teachers are doing what they need to. If the principals aren't trying to do what they need to, really having the school district do their principals to make sure that everybody is all on that same page.
It's really interesting how trust and shared goals can act as the glue that hold these partnerships together. Can you share an example of a collaboration that you've worked on where these elements made a real difference?
Yeah, with the school district that we work with right now, we definitely try to make sure that we all have that shared goal and that we all have that shared partnership. And it's interesting that we're not only have that partnership just with the school district, but we also have partnerships too with the community college. So it's everybody coming together so that we all have one shared goal for the student teachers, but not just the student teachers. We want to see the student achievement also go up within the school district. So we all come together, we meet, we talk about what the community college may need to do to help with the student teachers as we get them. We also talk about how the district can have that support system for the student teachers and how they can provide professional development for them so that when they're in the classroom and then they end up becoming classroom teachers for the school district, what all those different pieces need to be so that they can all kind of come together.
So I think one area where partnerships are especially critical is in preparing the new teachers. How can universities and school districts collaborate to provide that comprehensive training, mentorship to our incoming educators?
I think one of the biggest goals is really preparing your mentors because yes, you may have some of the best teachers on your campuses, but they don't understand what it means to be a mentor. And so giving them that foundation about what it means to be a mentor. So then when your student teachers go into the classroom with these great teachers, the mentors understand exactly who they're learning from, how to learn, and then they can also get that great pedagogy from those mentors. The thing is, the university's not there all the time with the teachers as they're doing teacher residencies or anything, but the mentors are the ones that are building up our student teachers. And so ensuring that the mentors are getting that great PD. And then the other piece about that too is ensuring that PD is also coming for our new teachers. So if there's certain curriculum that districts are offering, if there's certain ways that the district wants them to know, or there's certain values, really teaching the student teachers what those values are so that they can learn and do what they need to. So then on the university's end, ensuring that we are training them on all of that classroom management piece, pedagogy piece, so that when they go into those classrooms, they are understanding really how to utilize those pieces.
That's so valuable, especially when you think about the steep learning curve for our first year teachers.
Yes.
So, I'd like to kind of transition to improving the student outcomes.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it's all about the students. So, how do these partnerships lead to improved teaching practices and better outcomes for our kids in the classroom?
I would say that if everybody is on the same page, you will see better student outcomes. If the mentor teachers are strong and showing their student teachers how to build those relationships with their students, but they're not just there to clock in, clock out, and leave, but really showing the student teachers how to write lesson plans, tailor their lesson plans for their students in the classroom, teaching them how to have that one-on-one with their students, then that will help with building student achievement, because then the student teachers are going to learn how to really work with everybody in the classroom. And then also the district on their end really teaching the students about how to work with SPED students, emerging bilingual students, how to work with their populations that they have within their district. And then from the university side, really training our students to understand what SPED looks like, what emergent bilingual looks like, giving them that pedagogy of how to teach science, how to teach English, how to teach this to all of your different populations, so that when they take those skills, they can then utilize it within the classrooms that they're in.
So, drilling down on that, do you think that these partnerships also play a role in addressing the equity and access issues in education?
I think it does, because I think students start to recognize all the different inequities that they notice. And so then they start bringing those up and they want to know how they can help with the inequities. And so even when the university's not there all the time, even if they're doing like walkthroughs or if they're doing an observation on the student teacher, those students can start asking those questions within the classroom with their professors, and the professors can help them. So if they want to know how to make a lesson more culturally relevant for their students, then they can ask those questions about, like, how can I have more things geared towards their culture? How can I help them to really make it feel like this class is their classroom also? And so professors can really help them in understanding about that culture relevant pedagogy that really helps students to guide their learning within the classroom. And so then when it comes to the district then can really show them about how to really utilize that type of learning, and then their mentor teacher can really show them about how to utilize that learning that they got from the university within the classroom.
So, what are some of the common obstacles to building strong partnerships between our universities and school districts?
I would say some of the common obstacles is the stuff that's going on within our society right now, whether it's the book banning, whether it's some of your DEI initiatives that are happening right now. Because, yes, we want to teach our students about culture relevant pedagogy and how it can help out with all of our students, but they may not be able to utilize some of that pedagogy within the classroom. So, those are some of those obstacles that they're dealing with when it comes to that partnership. So, just making sure that we're not stepping on the toes of the districts who aren't doing certain things, making sure students understand that certain books in certain areas, they may not be able to do everything within their classrooms.
I should have worn my Band of Book shirts today. Yeah, those are definitely hurdles I think that a lot of our organizations can relate to. So, what strategies have you seen that work well for overcoming these obstacles?
I would say the very first strategy is having that conversation with their school districts that you're partnered with and asking them about any of those initiatives that they have. And then when it comes to the universities, really talking to the students, having them think outside of the box, but also following within the lines of what the district asks them to do.
So, as we look to the future, what do you think the next big opportunities are for university school district partnerships?
I see a lot of our 2 year colleges doing a lot more when it comes to teaching. I see them really partnering with universities and school districts. And what I mean by that too is I see some of our school districts creating teacher pathways for like grow your own so that they go straight from a 2 year going into a 4 year and then transitioning doing those big teacher residency programs, because when you have those teacher residencies, you have some of the top tier teachers that are learning from some awesome mentor teachers out there.
Do you see any emerging trends that you're specifically excited about?
Yeah, I see more and more schools that are trying out, the 2+1s program or the 2+2 program, where people who want to become teachers, they go to a 2 year college, and then all of a sudden they can go to a university for 1 year, and then they can get their teaching certification. So I think that we're going to keep seeing more of that so we can get more teachers in. But they're also doing their teacher residency within that whole entire year. So I think we're seeing more and more trends like that. I know that US Prep, of course, is doing a lot of innovative things to really ensure that we get more teachers into the teaching program. So I think it's so many awesome things that are happening out there that I think we just need to keep it going.
And, I think pay is incredibly important, but another thing is recognizing that teachers are very important. They're the ones that are shaping the foundation of this country. They are molding our next generation. So I think it's kind of a twofold issue.
It is exactly what you said. When it comes to pay, if you really want to educate, it is not about the pay, but it is about the pay. It's the pay, but it's not. People always say those
Exactly.
type of things, but you will see the passion in someone's eyes who loves to be a teacher. It is about educating kids and making sure that those kids get what they deserve. And so, I mean, I was a teacher for over 18 years. I loved it. I love educating kids. I love being around kids. I love teaching them. I was a high school teacher, enjoyed it. And now being around people who want to be teachers, you see it in their faces, you see it in their eyes, how bad they want to be teachers. People who want it, you see it, and it just shines all over them. I know right now the teaching landscape is not where it needs to be, but I think once we change what teaching is about and like get that negative tone out, people will want to go into teaching again. There's so much negativity surrounding teaching that people don't want to do it. And I think shows kind of like Abbott shines a big wonderful light around teaching. And I think we need more shows to shine how great teaching really is and how great people love their kids, because that's what teachers do. We love our students.
I binge watched that. I loved it. I could not get enough.
Yes. I mean, and that's like with any profession, people always see something negative and they don't want to go into it. And I think that's the problem is you hear so much negativity with teaching, and that's why we have just such an issue with people wanting to become teachers.
I know at least in Oklahoma, we have a major exodus of teachers moving to Texas. So you're taking all of our teachers.
Not trying to. We're definitely not trying to take anybody's teachers from anywhere. But I mean, I hate hearing the teaching shortage across the U.S. period. And so there has to be that mindset and that change within that teaching profession that teachers do a lot, and I don't think people recognize how hard it is to be a teacher and what teachers do out there.
I definitely agree with you. Just speaking about that mentorship program that y'all are really focused on, I think that's incredibly important to kind of sparking that inspiration that's already there, and then creating, of course, where we don't have teacher burnout.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's another big struggle that we have. But we can't thank you enough for our university partnerships and the strong things that you guys do. And Dr. Williams, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today. It's clear that the partnerships between universities and school districts are not just possible, they're going to be essential for the future of education.
It is very essential, and I'm glad that you recognize to that mentorship, because that's the key. Like, kids who have the best mentorships during their residency programs, they learn so much. I hear it all the time from the students that I work with. I love my mentor. I've learned so much from my mentor. I've done this from my mentor. My mentor has taught me this. I had the best mentor in the whole entire world. And they keep in contact with their mentor. I mean, my mentees keep in contact with me and ask me tons of questions when I was their mentor. So when you have a strong mentor that's there and that's really teaching you the skills to become a teacher, you will always reach out to that person, and that person really helps you to grow as a teacher.
Dr. Williams, thank you so much again. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to Innovating Education. Be sure to subscribe and spread the word for more conversations about reimagining how we teach, learn, and grow. Until next time, stay curious and keep innovating.